Hey everybody, it's your man Tyke coming to you with another true spook story. Now before I begin, I'm going to ask that you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share me, because you know these stories are the best. Share me, like, subscribe. It's all good. Let's get into it, good people. Now, this story is going to take place in Orlando, Florida, right at the corner of, right round the corner of West Colonial and John Young Parkway, but opposite of the old mobile gas station shoot where I did the story where a girl got shot in the head. It's gonna be across the street from now. Well, it used to be a store called Table Supply. That's back in the day when Table Supply was a food chain. I think they got bought out by something. But now, right now, it's one of the Asian markets, like a lot of Asian market or something like that. Can't pronounce the name properly. Well, if you go down there, right behind there, there's the set of woods. Directly behind the store, you'll see a little patch of woods. Right when you turn up in the back of the old Table Supply, if you look to the right, it'll be a forest, like some woods, but it's been cleared out over years because homeless people been living in the motherfucker. So this story gonna take place all in that one area. So there was this dude by the name of Lemon. We used to call him Lemon Juice. We got these names here in the motherfucking South, so we used to call him Lemon Juice. And the reason why we called him Lemon Juice, because every time he came around, he smelled sour, and rightfully so. He was a homeless man living in a tent, and he was sweating, but he was part of the neighborhood. So when he come around, young kids to take care of, give him a couple of dollars to get a bill, and we'll go in our house and get some sandwiches from our fix him a peanut butter jelly sandwiches, put it in a Ziploc bag, bologna sandwich, put it in a Ziploc bag, and because he was pretty cool, he was fun. He took care of kids and shit. He was making jokes. He had like he was doing little magic tricks, and he'd do the shadow puppets on the ground. So we thought that was cool. So we thought that shit was cool. So when old Lemon Squeeze came around, we would literally sit up there and go crazy because they go Lemon. Now Lemon, that old Lemon Squeeze was homeless. He had started fucking with this one lady by the name of Pamela. And Pamela, she was like really white, like one of them old ladies. She really fine, but she fine in her old days, but you could tell she was fine when she was younger. But she had just let it go. It wasn't tight. It just looked flabby. Still had the ass and hips and tits and shit. But she always used to say, "That Lemon look real good," and we'll be laughing and like, "Stank," but she didn't see that. So I'm about, like 6, 7 years old. So doing all this talking. So she, I remember just as clear as day, she, like Lemon Squeeze came over there. We were getting her sandwiches and shit, and she said, "Come here, man, let me fix you a real meal." And he was like, "Oh yeah." So she went up there, fixed him a real meal. Lemon Squeeze moved in down there he moved in our house for like 4, 5 months. He would clean every day, he brushed his teeth, haircut. So she fixed this man up. She fixed him up. It is what it is. And she really loved Lemon Squeeze, so she ended up getting pregnant from Lemon Squeeze, had an old baby black man. So now I'm like, damn. So now I'm growing up now. Now I'm 8. So everybody in the neighborhood is the buzz talk of the town. Damn, she got pregnant by a homeless nigga, Lemon Squeeze. So everybody started doing prayers and blessing Squeeze in their relationship, hoping that they make it, hoping that shit worked out. But Lemon Squeeze stayed around for another because he had left and went to like North Carolina to see his family. But he came back because she bought him a ticket. He ain't seen his family in a while. So the motherfucker came back. And when he came back, he was on some bullshit. He was different. Now I was old. I was 9 years old. 2 years done passed. They been messing around. He was on some kind of awful energy shit. So when he came back with this pouch around his neck, this satchel. And he was just sitting up there. So now they still screwing, they still going out. Neither one of them had a car because we're in the project, but we'll see him walking up the road to Magic Fry, Wellco, all that type of stuff. So all of a sudden, she gave birth to the baby. Lemon Squeeze stayed around for about another year. So this 3 years, Lemon Squeeze went home. He was just hanging out with Pam. Now, all of a sudden, the baby turned 1 year old. Lemon Squeeze disappeared. Boom, gone. Everybody thought he had got jumped and killed. Everybody sitting around looking for him. We looking up behind buildings, looking up, going in sewer drains. We called the police and everything. Reported a grown man missing. You know, back in them days, if you report a grown man missing, they say, "Oh yeah," and shit like that. And you know, they really didn't care because you're a grown man. Sometimes people don't want to be found. I remember the cop saying that directly one time. Maybe he don't want to be found. So you know, it was no hope. So now Lemon Squeeze's kid growing up without him. So she named the baby Norman, but we used to make fun that he didn't have a daddy. Nobody had a motherfucking daddy in the project, bitch. Yeah. But we made fun of him that he didn't have a daddy, so we used to call him Nomad because as he grew up, you know, if he turned like 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, all of life, he would just be walking up the project and he'd just always be like, I wonder if my daddy in the house. And he came up with the story that his daddy, you know, was like a wandering soldier going around, you know, fighting people, you know, keeping the black community safe. He used to say stuff like that. So we used to be like, nigga, you crazy. Yeah, when I grow up, I want to be just like my daddy. I want to be just like my daddy. He said, I want to go around and I want to just fight evil and keep the white folks and keep all the bad people out of the black community. And he had this ideology that that's what his daddy, that Lemon Squeeze was doing. So we nicknamed him Nomad because he never wanted to stay in the house. Listen to me, people. Sins of the father is so fucking real. The motherfucker never wanted to stay in the motherfucking house. He'll be sitting on the porch all day long outside. He'll go to sleep on the chair outside. He was doing that since he was 6. To the point his mama used to just put a sheet on the roof and just hide him in like 2 sheets. So you could look through the sheets when the light hit it. And you could see him sitting there in the chair, folded up sleep. She'll bring him a pillow. He eat his food outside. Probably go in there, watch a little cartoon. Come back outside, and he was always sitting on the porch. So the city bus would pass by him. You wave at him, he'll wave back. Car pass by, wave at him, wave back. So we used to call him Nomad. And the reason we really started calling him Nomad because he had started going to other people's porch, sitting down and falling asleep on other people's porch. So that was his thing. We would literally wake up one morning, see him in the corner, balled up on the ground with a sheet, you know, a blanket. So we wouldn't do nothing. We would just, hey Norman, wake up, man. Nomad, you want some cereal? You want a sandwich, man? You want some eggs? He's like, okay, yeah. So we would end up giving him food again. We would end up giving him food, and that just was his thing. So by the time he became like 16, I'm about 20 now. Yeah, I'm about 20. He turned 16 and stuff because he had been doing this for years in the hood, in Ivy Lane Project, Lake Macon. He had all graduated from it, but he stayed on the same street. So now I'm about 20, and you know, I'm making jokes. Man, where old Nomad at? Nomad walk around the hood. And he was very well built, slender guy, you know, about 6'2" as a young jit. So, you know, motherfucker, he could have got any woman he wanted, could have played any kind of sports. I don't even know what the boy went to school, but that wasn't my energy. So I said, man, where Nomad at? They said, man, Nomad down there by the basketball court. Motherfucker just sitting out there now. He's sitting on the bleachers. He's sleeping on the bleachers. I said, where Pam? I said, where my Pam? Where Mama? She's sitting out there telling everybody, can they help him and things. And I said, well, did y'all talk to Grandma? You know, maybe Grandma could go down there and talk some sense in. You know, everybody listen to Grandma. No, we ain't gonna talk. We ain't talk to Ganji because Pam was like they didn't want no magic involved and all that shit there. I said, well, y'all fools. Y'all don't think Grandma's supposed to be in this bitch. I say, I'm gonna go tell her. I say, maybe it's a demon on that boy. I said, maybe he got cursed or sickness. I said, you know, his daddy probably had a sick nut. I say, his daddy was back there in that homeless camp fucking all them goddamn homeless women and shit. They were like, yeah. I said, yeah, man. I said, you know how sick you got to be to come from a whole nother motherfucking state, city, to sleep in the motherfucking woods when you could have slept in the woods in that state and city you was in. I said, you crazy. I said, you see all them homeless people back there in that camp? I said, yeah, them bitches all kind of colors. And I say they come with germs and they come with motherfucking demons. And that's what they be running from. So everybody like, yeah, you right. I think Grandma should get involved. I say, I'm going to tell her. So I go to Grandma and I say, hey, Grandma, you know old Norman down there, old Nomad Norman? She's like, the cute little boy. They sit at the door all the time. I said, yes, ma'am. I said, you know that boy sleeping at that basketball court? I said, he just up there on the bleachers. She said, what the fuck that got to do with me? His mama need to get him. I said, Grandma, I said, I think that boy got a disease in his brain or some demon on him. She said, and that's his mama business. I said, Grandma, don't be like that. She tell me, she said, I don't like lemon squeeze. She said, I never liked the sour smelling nigga. And you gonna bring that fuck shit over here to me? I said, Grandma, I said, come on, I done seen you help out worse people than me. She like, tight, see, that's your problem. When I want to settle down, you always sitting up there playing Captain Save this bitch. Say, stop being superhero. Stop watching them comics. I say, Grandma. Say, the man sleeping outside, he could get murdered and killed. Say, he's a young black man, get murdered and killed. Police can shoot him down. She said, well, I go talk to his mama when I get off work tomorrow. I said, if she don't sit up there and don't talk right, I ain't got nothing to do with this shit. Cause fuck his daddy. I said, okay, Grandma. So I left. So Grandma, like in true fashion, she said, if I gotta go with that bitch, you gotta go with that. So get your ass here. She called me on my little mobile phone. I shoot her out there to Grandma. So we go to Miss Pam complex in the third cluster. And I say, Miss Pam, what's going on? I say, why Nomad sitting back there in the back? And she was like, he said he don't want to come home. He said he just want to sit back there, clean and shit. And she like, yeah, he take care of himself now. He come in here, he wash. He said he don't like to smell sour now. So he'll wash up, get something to eat, and go back out there and he just sit. I said, Grandma said, what did you do to that boy? You any kind of magic or roots and all that? She said, look at you, no, I ain't into nothing like that. She said, just the boy, he just like his daddy. His daddy was a homeless nigga, and he just took on the sins of his daddy. The Grandma said, well, I could get the spell off on whatever the fuck energy on him. I could get it off. And said, but I don't like Lemon Squeeze. Lemon Squeeze always was a beggar. He always was no good nigga. And he ain't shit. And you shouldn't have fucked with him. But I could get all that shit up off him. But I'm going to charge you, bitch, because I don't like you. Because when you got with Lemon, you thought you was the shit. Your old ass was sitting back here running around, talking shit to everybody like you had you something. I look at you. And Grandma and the lady got into it. So I'm like, Grandma, what's the issue? Why you want to? I said, Grandma, why you talking to, Miss Pam like that? She said, let me tell you something about Pam. Pam was supposed to be with your Uncle Sean. But she sat her ass up here, started fucking with this old homeless nigga over my boy. And I raised good motherfucking boys. So fuck her. And she gonna pay. I say, that. I say, yeah, it's a little issue. I smirked a little bit and all that. That's an issue. Got it. I feel you. So, she like, you can help my boy? She said, yeah, bitch. You got $2,000? Surprisingly, Pam had a lot of money. Living in a project, The bitch had paper because she went out there and she just literally pulled out her purse and started counting out 100. She said, this is enough. She said, I'm finna go get him. He gonna sleep at my house about 5-6 days. I'm gonna make sure he don't leave that house. 5-6 days now. That's where he gonna be. Anything you can do to help my baby, thank you, Gunner. Bitch, don't thank me. You paid me for this. And I don't like you. And don't wave at my son no more. You hurt him already. Don't talk to him after this. So me and Pam looked at each other and I'm like, oh boy, Grandma, what the fuck she crazy about taking care of her boys and shit. And Pam just rolled her eyes and we smirked. Grandma was really pissed off at the fact that Sean didn't get with Pam, that she chose a homeless nigga over my uncle. But it is what it is. So Grandma told me, she said, go back there and get him, walking on back to the house and say, I have everything ready. So I went back there to the basketball court. I said, man, come with me, Nomad, follow me. I said, we finna go do something. All right. Because, he was down for the cause, man. Hey, let's go whoop these niggas' ass. He'll go with you. He'll pick up a brick, a bottle, and he throwing that bitch. While you punching and fighting, he clinging your ass in the head, and he'll sneak up on you, hit you in the head with a brick or bottle or something. He down for the cause, so nobody fought with the neighborhood. He was real. So he come, I say, hey, Grandma, I want to talk to you. I said, go on in there, man. I'll be outside. Gonna say. So he walk in there, and Grandma had whatever conversation she had with him. She said, he finna go get in the shower. I said, Grandma, so I said, okay. I said, Grandma, you want me to leave you with him? She said, cool, I got it. Man, I left, came back, I went and got him some chicken gizzards. Chicken gizzards and rice from Magic Fry. He like chicken gizzards for some motherfucking reason. I can't chew the bitches. They just got a fucked up chew to me. So I go over there, I say, Grandma, here you go to food for him. Grandma sit him down. He ate a little, chicken gizzard and rice and shit like that. So Grandma walked in there. Grandma had the boy in all white. She had bathed him. She had put some talcum powder on him, some kind of white powder, because he had white dust all over his body. Yeah, she had him sitting at the table and she was feeding him. So she said, I need you to do this right here. And she didn't let him drink no soda, no sugary drinks. He ate the rice, he ate the chicken gizzard. He sat at that table drinking cold, clear water. Cold, clear water. So he sat up there. She said, you're going to stay here 7 days. You ain't going to walk out that door. You ain't going to do nothing. Okay. So, in true fashion, Grandma fed him 7 days. She did whatever prayer on him, ritual work on him. She was doing whatever it is on that man. Make sure he, didn't leave her house. Again, I wasn't privy to it. I was just going over there checking on him, making sure he ain't murder in her sleep or no shit. But he did what he had to do. He did it. I mean, you can tell he didn't like it because he used to stare out the window. You see moving blinds in all the windows in the apartments and shit. He stayed true to fashion. He didn't go, but you can tell he always wanted to go. But she forced him to stay in the house, to stay in one spot for like 7 days. She fed him. She made him bathe every night, and she put talcum powder on him. And so I said, Grandma, why you got this white talcum powder shit on him? She said, see, baby, we got to hide him from whatever demon that his daddy got. She said, so when you doing you a ritual cleaning, and you trying to clean somebody, and you know they got some on him, say what you do, you got to put baby powder, talcum powder, some kind of white powder on him. See, that turns him into a blank. So now while they looking for a heat signature or energy or the face of the person, they can't see him. They just see the powder, and the body don't give off heat. And it got mud or dirt on it. I said, okay. She said, I had to hide him for all the energy that was pulling that boy out that door, making him sleep outside on the concrete and on the field. You're right, Grandma. So for 7 days, Grandma hid him while she did prayers over and read Bibles, and she fed him. She kept him home. Y'all remember that. Grandma was a G. So after the 7 days, she washed his clothes and with bluestone and water and all that stuff. Then she cleaned him up, ironed him. She dressed him, and she said, now take your ass home. She said, you walk your ass straight home. Don't veer off. Don't go nowhere. Walk your ass straight home. And you go in your room and you lay down in your bed. And she said, you can leave that house tomorrow. He was a good kid, so he did what Grandma said. This man come down there. What you did to my boy? He's so nice and polite. He always home. He never go nowhere. He don't sleep on the porch no more. He always want to be in his room. He laughing and playing. He joking, but he don't want to leave the house. Grandma say, didn't I tell you I was gonna fix him, bitch? Now you got your son back. Now I did what I said I was gonna do. You got your son back. Now go on, get out my face now, hope. Thank you, Gunju. Don't thank me. You paid me for this. So now, Norman, he ain't Nomad no more. He don't like to be called Nomad no more. He like to be called Norman. So we like Norman, Stormin' Norman. We used to come up with all kind of nicknames. So now, Norman is old enough, to ride the bike, the table supply, Winn Dixie, and all that shit. That not keep in mind, he haven't seen his daddy double. He don't know how his daddy looked. He don't know nothing. The only thing we knew, his daddy disappeared when he was like 1 or 2. But unbeknownst to us, his daddy was living in the woods, literally less than 5 blocks away, because his daddy was into the homeless shelter, the homeless people and shit like that. Man, so he riding his bike to Table Supply one day on the bike ride. He had went up Old Wintergarden Road, made that left on Young, crossed over Colonial. He going out there, and he just went the back way, because you could park your bike in the back and walk through the back of the store back in them days. So all of a sudden, he just went over there and he saw a homeless camp, and he said he stopped. Now, I'm sitting up there at the probation office. I had took my cousin to the probation office, but there was a probation officer behind the store too. They had a little hidden camp back there. I want to remember. So yeah, I'm dropping my cousin off at the probation office because he knew he was going to jail, so he didn't want to have his car towed or nothing. So I dropped him off, and I happened to see him. Like I happened to see Norman bike parked on a tree, and Norman just was standing in the middle of the homeless camp, just looking crazy and shit. He just was standing there. So all the homeless people just walking around, doing everything, moving. They didn't say nothing to him. He just was standing there. Man, he was clean as a whistle. No dirt on his clothes, it just stood there. And he just was staring. So, I done went in there, went shopping, came back out, he's standing in the same place next to a tree, just chilling. I blew the horn. I say, hey Norman, what the fuck, man? I say, get out of them woods. Them people gonna murder you, boy. I say, some of them gonna rape your ass up and murder your ass. I say, them people crazy. He's like, I'm good, tight. He say, thank you, tight. I said, all right, nigga. I say, I'll come back and look for your ass. He said, all right, yeah. He said, I just feel comfortable back here, man. He said, something I'm supposed to get out of here. I said, I got you, man. I said, do what you do. He was always a loner, so, maybe the spell done broke. I don't know. So it wasn't my business. Grandma did what she did. So all of a sudden, I used to, driving up the road, you could see from the road, the tree and all that shit, the homeless camp. If you look good. Man, he was just sitting up there standing. He was always standing. And all of a sudden, he just started going in there, living amongst those people. Now keep in mind, he ain't seen his daddy since he was 1. And old lemon juice, lemon squeeze, he was living in that motherfucker. So the boy felt his daddy energy up in the motherfucking homeless shelter, the homeless camp where all these people pitched tents at in these woods back there. But they didn't know each other. So back in those things, man, he just sat up there. He just would start living in there. He'll come home. Now this is 2-3 years. He 18, 19, going on 20. I'm like 24. So everybody be like, man, what Norman? They say he done went back to his nomadic ass ways. And his Pam was like, well, he just like his daddy. He disappeared. So he just like his motherfucking daddy. And she put a curse on that boy saying he just like his daddy. More so than, you can know. So be careful what you speak over your fucking children, man. So Norman felt comfortable being in the little woods with the homeless people in the tents. So he started living back there. He had went and got him a tent from I think if I'm not mistaken, it was Dick's Sporting Goods. He had went and got him a tent. Everybody chilling in their tents. He picked up. He used to go to Table Supply. He used to get pots and pans, and he started being the dude to take care of everybody in the tent. Like, I got y'all. He was like in servitude to all those homeless people because he just felt comfortable connected. Now the whole time I happened to see his daddy. I said, hey man, you know Pam boy, because I never called him his son. I said, Pam boy is Nomad. That's your son, bro. I say, but that's Pam boy, and he the one taking care of y'all. He like, that's my son. I say, yeah man. I say, you really need to check on him. Said, oh shit, his tent is right next to mine. I say, well, be careful, man. Check on old Nomad and shit like that. I say, that's your boy. I say, I promise that's your boy, that Pam boy. I say, you remember Pam, old fine ass Pam who let herself go? Yeah, my baby mama. I say, that's your son, nigga. He like, all right, give me $1. I ain't give you shit, nigga. Take care of your kid. We cut up like that. So he never let Nomad, lemon squeeze, never let Norman know that like he was a daddy, but he used the boy like a user, like a real fucking nigga did. He used the motherfucking nigga. So he had Nomad getting him food, getting him shoes, stealing out a little Montgomery Ward and all that shit. That back in the day, that when Montgomery Ward was around, stealing out of Montgomery Ward and Table Supply and shit, And then he was like, damn. So now all of a sudden, lemon squeeze end up dying back there in the camp. So the police came and they found the homeless people called and said, hey, homeless nigga died in the camp. And even if somebody murdered him or whatnot, it was the cause of death. He was a homeless dude, sick, fixation, died in his sleep, natural causes, whatever. That's what these homeless people got to go through in the camp. Homeless people can murder each other and they can say it's a, natural cause that they want to take care of themselves, snake bite, anything. I done heard some shit. But all of a sudden, lemon squeeze end up dying. Keep in mind, his son tent was directly next to him. As far as I know, he never let on that, I'm your daddy. So all of a sudden, the funeral is done. Everybody find out, the news tell who it was. The news say, hey, so Norman X, Y, and Z was found dead. He was a homeless man living in the camp. So now everybody know where, Lemon Squeeze was in the camp, 5 miles, less than 5 miles away from my Blaine project where he fucked around with Miss Pam. So the news hit, Miss Pam see it on the news. Everybody, in the neighborhood that knew of him, she get dressed, she go to the funeral. So she take Norman, Nomad, to the goddamn funeral home, and he say, damn, that nigga was living next to me. This my daddy. So, but Norman never had a really good smile on his face, and he didn't look shocked. So he just had a very blank stare on his face. And I noticed his energy was so solid. It wasn't sad, it wasn't joy, it wasn't no emotion, no. So rumors started getting around that, he killed his daddy. And yeah, what it is, I'm just telling y'all how the shit go. Rumor got around that he had offed his own daddy and shit. So I'm like, oh my God, he done killed his daddy. So the dude probably say, hey, I'm your daddy, and tried to make the boy, conform to him or talk to him, and the boy had that anger because he grew up without him. Or maybe he just like, fuck this nigga, he ain't really my son, and he was gay and he tried to molest the boy. I don't know. We got speculations in the hood. You know how rumors run. So either way, tent right next to each other. You didn't hear nothing, nigga. This man dead. So he was just cold. So now the boy left his mama and he didn't come home. So now he walking around the little homeless camp. He's still in servitude to the homeless people. Taking his money, taking their money, going to the store buying them shit. These homeless people never had to come out the woods. He never wanted them to come out the woods. If they wanted something, he would make sure that they got it, and he was like, I go get it. He'd catch a city bus, take a taxi cab, anything. He'll just do everything he can to make them people stay in the woods and be comfortable. So, so he became like a law enforcement, security guard, police officer, protection of the bitch. In so many words. So me and Grandma's like, I said, Grandma, can we just drive back there? I want to just walk in the homeless camp. Grandma said, well, I ain't getting out. I ain't walking in that field. I said, Grandma, could you just do a blessing over that homeless camp to help them people get their minds right? I said, because the energy just wrong back there. She said, well, I ain't finna waste my energy. She said, but I sit up there and I do something. Grandma got out the car. She drew a sigil in the ground. She prayed over it. She folded up a Bible piece and tucked it in the ground with a stick over the sigil she made. He said, that's all I'm going to do, because these people got demons and I ain't trying to fight none of this shit. I said, yes, ma'am. So now, Norman, Nomad, young Nomad, saw this. He came out there and he dug up Grandma's paper. I'm looking at the boy with my own self eyes. I'm seeing him dead to right. He dig up the paper and he kicked the Bible verse. He's like, I don't care nothing about this shit. First time I heard the boy angrily cursing stuff. And he I got these people. Man, that couldn't be so much truer than what it was. So he sat up there and he just kept on doing it. So we don't know if he got his nut cracks. We don't know nothing. He just sitting out there, and his life was to make sure those homeless people was taken care of, safe and secure back there. But what the fuck they got into him, but that's what it was. That was his life mission. So one day we getting out of the club, we with the club Diamond, we getting out of the club, and we all say we finna just park over here, drink, talk to the hoes, and chill on the back of the cars, and it's everybody there. So you could at that time you could just open your back seat of your car, jump back there with a big fucker, everybody chilling, music playing, hoes clapping cheek. It was a good damn time back in the day. No bullshit, no police harassing. That was a good motherfucking time in the parking lot of the store. So, so we parked over there. I'm driving the Chevy and shit, and he just sitting out there. So we happened to see him walk out of the woods. But when he walked out of the woods, he was walking real fast, and he walked to the dumpster, threw some shit away, a big heavy bag, and you could tell it was a bag, and the one didn't hit me, clink, clink, clink. The picture slush. So we just figured, okay, shitty clothes or soft clothes or something, or old food or something, like water wet stuff in the plastic bag. So we saw him, we didn't say nothing about it. Man, that motherfucker went back in the woods and he looked at us and he just had a nasty stand. He was walking fast. Like, what's wrong with that fuck nigga? I said, man, leave him alone. I said, that's Nomad. Nomad cool, man. I couldn't be so far from the truth. People. Norman was in the back of the woods killing them people. He didn't want nobody to come in the back of the woods. He didn't want nobody fucking with the homeless camp. That was his own hunting ground. So but they had literally made him like a makeshift sheriff because he was like the mayor of that motherfucking homeless camp. Young black boy, serial killer like a motherfucker, man. So he would always go back there, and if everybody voted that they didn't want somebody there, he told them to leave. They didn't leave when they said. That boy would end up cutting them people's throats, or he was end up suffocating them. He killed like 6 or 7 of them motherfucking homeless people, and he had his own homeless tent back there. So one day, he's sitting his ass up there, and he had got into it with Uncle Sean, because Uncle Sean had got on crack cocaine around by that time. He went back there, and he was like, "You don't belong here." And we knew what Uncle Sean was. Grandma was like, "Sean on that motherfucking dope again." I say, he behind Win Dixie, because at that time Table Supply had turned to Win Dixie. He said, "Well, I'm going up there to get him." I say, she said, "I can't let him sit there. I come up there to get him. I do the spell work to keep him trapped in my house until he heal his brain." So we went out there to get Unc. Unc and Norman sitting up there with each other. So Unc was always a bodybuilder, big nigga. And young Norman living on the street, he had to learn how to survive, and he had a killer instinct. Man, let me tell you something. We came around, the Unc was whooping Norman ass like it was nothing. He was beating that little boy ass. Whatever little boy did to him pissed him off heavy. Unc non-violent like that. He had to do some shit. And he like, "How the hell you gonna tell me I can't come back here with my lady?" Because Unc had started fucking with this homeless lady named Sarah. Homeless white lady named Sarah. So Nomad like, "No, these my people. You need to get your ass up out of here." I mean, they was fighting heavy like that. Okay, so me and Grandma saw him fighting. "Sean, get your ass in this car. Stop fucking with that little retarded ass boy. This ain't your people. Get in this fucking car." I'm like, all right. He was like, "Next time, learn how to talk to grown people, boy." So Uncle Sean never went back to the, not the project, never went back to the camp no more. So Norman is still the dude. So now bodies are being found dead back there. White people, Hispanic people, anybody who that camp voted on not to be back there, them bitches would die. Norman would kill him. And so that's where we said, he had killed his daddy or abandoned him and all that shit. But he always felt like he was connected to that land back there. So now Uncle Sean kept feeling like, he said, "It's something wrong with that boy. It's eerie." So Uncle Sean went and talked to his mama Pam. And Uncle Sean was like, "Why you didn't choose me?" and all that shit. Then she's like, "No, I just can't fuck with you, because he was too slow." She called Uncle Sean slow because he really is a sweetheart. And Uncle Sean was, "Your boy back there in that camp with them homeless people. You need to go get him. I tried to bring him home, but we got into a fight. He just nasty." I said, "I think something wrong with him." She's like, "Well, I can't do nothing with him. He a grown man. He in the 20s. Back there doing what he got to do." So I said, "Okay, then I'll talk to you later. If I go back there and see him, I see, can I coach him home to you so you can see your boy?" I never got him to come home. So fast forward a little bit on, because I stopped going around that shit. I had started getting my own people, my own girlfriend, kids, whatever. Yeah, woo. So we kept hearing on the news that a lot of body parts were being found in the dumpsters behind Table Supply. It was a serial killer. A national alert went out saying, homeless people need to watch each other's back and all that shit. So all the homeless people would be like, "Oh, we good because we got Norman back here. Norman makes sure nobody. He like the sheriff. He carried this big ass butcher knife. And the butcher knife was a Ginzu knife. I remember that knife because he used to always talk about Ginzu. That was heavy at the time. So the people were kind of like afraid of Nomad Norman. But at the same time, they was grateful for him because he kept out all the little drug dealers that would go back there and sell them drugs and beat them up and take their money. People who would go back there and try to, rape the women and all that shit. And like, Nomad Norman would fight that shit off. So one day, and I can remember shit like it was yesterday, Nomad Norman had went back there. He had on like white shoes. He had bought him some nice white shoes from Payless. And I remember they were so white and clean. Driving past, and I went to Win Dixie. That had just turned the Table Supply. Table Supply turned to Win Dixie. I went up there and I was like, That nigga got some clean shoes and he can fuck him up in that muddy ass backwood tent shit. So I wanted to go out there and say, man, what you doing? But I drove the car and I tried to get to him, but he had disappeared in the woods. So I got out and I ran in the woods with him. You know, I'm like, nigga, what you doing, bro? Because I really wanted to look at his face and see where he was. People, when I ran back there to check on Nomad and Norman, I saw footprints in the mud. And I couldn't have been no more than like a minute behind him. Because I jump out my car and I'm jogging through the bitch, right? I jump out my car and I'm jogging and I see the footprints of the new shoes. And I don't see him. So I'm like, damn, I walk back there to the homeless camp. I'm like, hey, y'all seen Sean? I'm sorry. I say, hey, man, y'all seen Nomad? But everybody looking at me and they ain't saying nothing. They just like staring at me, blank faces. They fucking crazy ass people. So I went and I'm looking at these homeless tents, man, and it was so many tents. I'm gonna say it had to be about 20 tents. And everybody just coming out the tent, just standing in one spot, holding on the trees. One dude holding a little cup in his hand. And I'm like, hey man, you know what, Nomad, what Norman? But Nomad, what Norman? Nobody ain't saying no to me. So I say, you know, before I get too deep in this bitch and they surround me, I say, fuck him, I'm finna turn around. I say, maybe he in one of the tents, he don't want to be found. Well, I just turn around, walk out the motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? I had my piece on me, you know, in case they got loose. I walk out the motherfucker, so I say, Grandma, something going on in that wood. I say, that shit is Hank to the heat. He said, well, I ain't going back there. I say, fuck all them homeless people. I said, cool, so we left it alone. People, like 3 years passed, man. 3 years passed. And when they finally start cleaning up the energy, because it had got bought out again, I forget what the store called, but it had got bought. No, they turned it into a police substation. So they had to clean all the homeless people out, you know, to protect the police. Then when they went back there, they found an abandoned homeless camp. The tents was tattered, old. They said ain't nobody lived in them tents for years. And they found several bodies in those tents back there. So that shit made news and they had to come and clean it up. They came to know with a bulldozer, truck, corners, all that shit. Only person they found back there that was a fresh kill was Nomad. The young boy had hung himself in the tree back there. Found floating in the motherfucking wind and they took pictures of him. He hung himself after he had killed all them homeless people. I saw the boy run in there and he disappeared. So they said that people in the tents had been dead for like a year, 2 years, because they had started turning into skeletal remains. But Nomad used to walk that motherfucker, protecting all those people in that homeless camp back there until he killed himself. And I guess when I ran back there, people was already dead. Their spirit was trapped on that land. And he had finally hung himself in the tree and they went and got him down. It's Pam. Everybody was sad and shit. Grandma was like, I tried to help him. That boy was cursed from his daddy. But finally came down, the speculation in the hood that he killed his daddy. His daddy's soul got into him, a transferred spirit, because his daddy was one of the people that like to hurt people unalive. Find out, Lemon Squeeze, he was running from the Carolinas because he had went up there and killed somebody in the homeless shelter up there. So after he killed his daddy, the daddy's soul transferred into that boy, that energy of murder. And young Norman went around killing the people, but he felt he had to protect them people. So I think he protected them by killing them people. I don't know if that story's scary, spooky, what the fuck ever. I'm just telling you what it is. Shit made news, it made the paper. I don't think the internet was out too heavy. But if you can find the old paper archive, they'll say black boy kills homeless camp, some shit like that. That's the shit, man. Yeah, Nomad Norman protected them homeless people by murdering their ass. And I think he understood how to trap people's souls, because he did what Grandma said he did. He wore all white one day, white shoes, white powder on his face, looking like a true voodoo cat. He went in off them people, man. Now he served as a protector. Now to this day, you could go back there, and if you shine a flashlight, you can see some eyes or something. or it'll be like a homeless person to move into that little area right there where the trees been cleared out, and the police will come and make sure they move off that land. They don't want the serial killing to happen again. But you'll see, a tall, listening to black dude walking in the back of that thing, and he just walking. He'll just go in the woods and disappear. Everybody see apparition, but 9 times you see him on a Friday, Saturday, when we leaving the club, Junction or some shit, Diamond or something like that. When people getting out the club, you'll see like somebody standing in the woods watching over, but he never looking out. He looking in the woods, like towards in. But ain't no camps there no more. You just 1 or 2 tents, and you just blow your horn out, and we'll ride past it. We'll pump, and then you'll see him throw the hand up and shit. We make fun of the homeless people that like that now. But you'll still see that boy standing next to that tree, holding on to the tree, walking that road, walking that little open field with the homeless camp. And we know that's Nomad Norman. He hung himself back there, people. Killed his daddy. He hung himself back there, but he unalived several of those homeless people behind that store. Again, I don't know if that story is scary, spooky, whatever, but that's what happened. Let you go. We could talk about it in the recap type, telling you sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction, but it's the truth, no doubt. Take care, God bless, and much love. And remember, because you hang around something, don't mean you need to just hang around something. Take care, everybody.